Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. No human had ever stood inside the Hall of Judgment and lived. The hall was not built for comfort. It was built to remind every visitor of their place. The ceiling rose so high it disappeared into shadow. Long black pillars lined both sides, carved with symbols of conquest. The air was cold and heavy, pressing down on the chest like an unseen hand. At the far end of the hall stood the throne, and on the throne sat her. She was known by many names across the galaxy. The Iron Voice, the Silent Blade, the Commander of Ash. Her species ruled through fear. They believed fear was the purest form of control. Their empire had crushed worlds, broken civilizations, and erased histories without regret. Entire species bowed their heads when her image appeared on a screen. And now a human stood before her. He stood alone in the center of the hall. No chains, no armor, no weapon. Just a simple dark uniform, clean and plain, with a small symbol on the chest, the symbol of Earth. Alien guards surrounded him at a distance, their weapons already powered. One wrong move, one wrong breath, one wrong look. Especially one wrong look. Among her people, eye contact was not rude. It was a challenge. To look directly at a high commander was to declare yourself an enemy. Many had died for far less. The human lifted his head. Slowly, deliberately. And he looked at her. A quiet wave of shock moved through the hall. Some of the alien nobles shifted in their seats. A few guards tightened their grip on their weapons. The air felt sharper, like it might break. She noticed everything. She always did. Her eyes locked onto his. They were calm. Not wide with fear. Not shaking. Not desperate. Just calm. She leaned forward slightly on her throne. Her voice, when it came, was smooth and cold, echoing through the hall without effort. "You dare look at me," she said. Time seemed to slow. The human did not bow. He did not step back. He did not apologize. Instead, something impossible happened. He smiled. It was not a grin of mockery, not a smile of madness. It was small, gentle, and honest. Then he spoke. "Only because you're beautiful." The hall froze. For a heartbeat, no one moved, no one breathed. Beautiful. The word had not been used in this hall for centuries. Praise was forbidden unless given to the empire itself. To speak such a word to her face was unthinkable. Several guards raised their weapons fully now, fingers hovering over triggers. The alien nobles whispered in panic. She could have killed him instantly. One word. One gesture. His life would end, and the galaxy would continue unchanged. But she did not speak. She studied him instead. Up close, the human looked fragile compared to her kind. His body was smaller, softer. No natural armor, no visible weapons. His skin showed scars, thin lines of old pain healed long ago. Yet his eyes did not move. They did not beg. They did not flinch. "Human," she said at last, her voice low, "do you understand where you stand?" "Yes," he replied. "You stand before the power that erased your neighboring systems." "Yes. You stand before the one who decides whether your world lives or burns." "Yes." "And still you look at me." "Yes." The guards waited for the order. It did not come. She rose from her throne. The sound echoed like distant thunder. She stepped down, each movement slow and controlled, her long coat trailing behind her. She walked toward him, stopping only a few steps away. Up close, her presence was overwhelming. Her species had evolved to dominate. Her eyes were sharp, reflecting centuries of command. Many beings collapsed under that stare alone. The human swallowed once, but he did not look away. Why? She asked. He considered the question, as if it truly deserved thought. Because fear doesn't change what's real, he said, and because hiding my eyes wouldn't make you less powerful. A murmur spread through the hall. She tilted her head slightly. You speak strangely for someone so close to death. He nodded. People say that a lot. That almost earned him execution. Almost. She turned away from him suddenly and walked back toward the throne. The guards relaxed slightly, confused. She seated herself again, resting one arm on the throne's edge. State your purpose, she said. The human took a breath. I am here as a voice for Earth. Laughter broke out among some of the alien nobles. Short, sharp, cruel sounds. Earth, one of them sneered. That minor world on the edge of map space. Yes, the human said calmly, that Earth. The commander raised a hand, and silence returned instantly. Your species is young, she said. Weak, divided. You have no fleets worth naming, no warriors feared by song or story. The human listened without interrupting. You exist, she continued, because you have not yet been worth conquering. That's fair, he said. Another ripple of shock. She narrowed her eyes. You agree? Yes, he replied. We're not impressive to look at. Then why are you here? Because you're looking at us now. That answer interested her. She leaned back slightly. And you think words will save you? No, he said. I think understanding might. The hall felt colder. Explain, she ordered. He clasped his hands behind his back, a simple, relaxed gesture that confused the guards. Humans don't expand fast, he said. We don't rule well when we try, we argue, we fight among ourselves, we fail a lot. Several nobles smirked. But he continued, we remember. She raised an eyebrow. We remember kindness, he said, and we remember cruelty even better. Her expression did not change, but something shifted behind her eyes. You threaten me? She asked. No, he said quickly, I explain us. She watched him carefully now. Fear builds empires, she said. Fear keeps them strong. For a while, the human replied. The guards tensed again. You speak as if you have seen empires fall, she said. We have, he answered, thousands of them, ours included. That made her pause. Humans survived by adapting, he went on, by helping each other when fear failed, by standing up after we should have stayed down. She studied him in silence. You smile too easily, she said at last. That makes you dangerous. He smiled again, smaller this time. People tell me that too. The council lights shifted, signaling the end of the informal exchange. Formal judgment was approaching. She stood once more. The council will decide Earth's fate, she announced. You will remain alive until that decision is made. The human inclined his head slightly, not a bow, just respect. As guards moved to escort him away, she spoke again. Human. He turned. You should have lowered your eyes, she said. He met her gaze one last time. I didn't want to miss the truth. He was led from the hall. The doors closed behind him with a heavy final sound. The council chamber filled with voices immediately. He insulted you. He challenged tradition. He should be executed. She did not answer at first. Her eyes remained on the closed doors. For the first time in many years, she felt something unfamiliar. Doubt. Not about her power, but about fear. The council vote began, lights shifted, decisions were made. Earth would be tested. If humanity failed, it would be claimed. If it resisted, it would be crushed. She accepted the verdict with a single nod. Yet as the hall emptied, one thought remained in her mind. The human had smiled at her. Not because he was brave. Not because he was foolish. But because he was human. and for reasons she could not yet explain, that unsettled her more than any weapon ever had. The stars around Earth burned quietly. From a distance, the planet looked small, blue and white, fragile and calm, turning slowly in the dark. No massive defense ring surrounded it. No wall of warships waited in orbit. No signs of a civilization preparing for invasion. To the alien empire sensors, Earth looked unready. The commander stood on the observation deck of her flagship, hands clasped behind her back, eyes fixed on the human world below. Around her, officers spoke in low, confident tones. They had seen hundreds of worlds like this before. Soft, hopeful, doomed. This is the planet, one officer asked, disbelief clear in his voice. This is what caused debate in the council. Yes, the commander replied. There are no heavy weapons, another said, no visible fleets. The commander said nothing. She remembered the human's eyes, calm, steady, unafraid. That did not match what she saw. The fleet did not attack. Orders were clear: observe, test, measure response. Small probes descended into Earth's atmosphere, satellites shifted, signals were sent, messages translated. Earth responded within minutes. Not with threats, not with weapons, but with words. A global broadcast appeared on the flagship screens. Human leaders stood together, not perfectly aligned, not uniform in appearance but united. They spoke plainly. We see you, one of them said. We don't know why you've come, but we are listening. The bridge was silent. They do not beg, an officer noted. They do not threaten, another added. The commander watched closely. They do not hide, she said quietly. Days passed. The alien fleet stayed in orbit. Humans sent food shipments to orbiting stations, medical data, cultural archives, history, music, art. Stories. The commander reviewed them alone. Human history was chaos, wars, collapse, recovery, mistakes repeated again and again, but something strange stood out. They never stopped trying. Even when they lost everything, they rebuilt. Even when their own kind betrayed them, they reached out again and again. Fear was present in their history, but it never ruled them for long. Then the test came. A rival alien faction, ancient enemies of the Empire, detected the situation. They saw Earth not as a question, but as an opportunity. Their fleet arrived without warning. Weapons charged, no communication, no hesitation. The attack began. Human satellites were destroyed in seconds. Orbital stations vanished in bright flashes of light. The planet below shook as the first strikes hit the atmosphere. On the flagship bridge, officers smiled grimly. It begins, one said. The humans will break. The commander did not smile. Earth's response was not immediate. Cities evacuated before second strikes landed. Power grids rerouted. Civilian transports moved with quiet speed. No panic broadcasts filled the air. Then human defenses activated. They were not massive, not beautiful, not terrifying to look at. They were smart. Alien ships were pulled off course by gravity traps hidden near the moon. Electronic warfare blinded targeting systems. Human weapons fired only when locks were perfect. Every shot mattered. The rival fleet stumbled. They are adapting, an officer said, surprised. They shouldn't be able to, another replied. They've never faced us before. The commander leaned forward. Yes, she said, but they've faced each other. Human pilots fought with precision and restraint. They protected evacuation paths instead of chasing kills. When an enemy ship was disabled, they did not destroy it unless it fired again. The battle turned. The rival fleet retreated, damaged and confused. Earth stood. The bridge was silent. They won, someone whispered. No, the commander corrected. They endured. She ordered her fleet to stand down. Later, she descended to the planet. Not as a conqueror, not as a judge, but as a witness. She met the human again in a quiet hall overlooking a rebuilt city. Smoke still rose in the distance. Rescue ships moved through the sky. People worked together without orders shouted through fear. He looked tired, but he smiled when he saw her. "You survived," she said. "So did you," he replied. She studied him closely now, not as an enemy, not as prey. As a question. "Why?" she asked. "You could have used fear, you could have threatened us, shown hidden weapons." He shook his head. "Fear works fast, it doesn't last." "That belief cost many species their freedom," she said. "And it cost many empires their future," he answered. She was silent for a long moment. "My people believe fear is strength," she said. "Fear is a tool," he replied. "Tools break when you rely on them too much." She looked out at the city. Humans mourned their dead. They cried openly. Then they returned to work. "They will remember this," she said. "Yes," he answered, "but not the way you think." She turned to him. "You should hate us." He shrugged slightly. "Maybe someday, right now we're busy." That almost made her laugh. Almost. The Empire withdrew its claim on Earth within the cycle. The Council protested, argued, threatened. She overruled them. Earth was declared a protected world, an ally, not because it was strong, but because it refused to become cruel. On her final day in orbit, she watched the planet one last time. The human stood beside her. "You looked at me again," she said. "Yes," he replied. "And this time." He smiled the same calm smile. "Still beautiful." She did not order his execution. Instead, she looked back. And for the first time in her long command, fear did not guide her choice. Humanity had not conquered the stars. They had done something far rarer. They had taught the galaxy how to stand without fear and smile back at the dark.